I did a week worth of work in just the morning of a day. Think about that. That is called peak productivity, peak performance. And I will show you the 4-step way to get into the peak performance, into the flow state. Imagine one day you have these things, the amount of tasks that you have to do in a week, and you just compressed it to just one day. That is called peak performance, and it allows you to tap into your potential to get 10 times more done, sometimes even 100 times more done, when you are fully focused and immersed in the task. And this can be seen in multiple scenarios in life, not just studies, not just work, but in athletes. I'm sure you have heard of multiple athletes who have been talking about this thing called the flow state. Like, I was in the zone, I couldn't hear anything. They use it too. So let me show you how you can tap into that strength, that power within you. So we go to how we can start before we want to even try to enter. So first of all, we need to understand flow triggers. So what trigger us to allow us to even get into a state of peak performance? The first one is setting clear goals. I mentioned this multiple times. You need to have a clear goal every session that you sit down. Before you sit down, think of the intention you want to have, the goal that you want to have. So I'm going to write 1,000 words in this Google document. I'm going to complete this practice paper. Set a goal that you know before starting. And next one is really the immediate feedback. So you need to know if you're doing it good or not. You can tell by having like a word counter to check your progress towards a goal. Another one is the most important, which is the challenge skills based balance. So imagine there's an axis here. So this is your skill level and this is the challenge level. If let's say you are a level 1 knight, with a sword, and you have to fight a level 100 dragon, will you feel bored? Will you feel challenged? Or will you feel full of anxiety? You'll probably feel full of anxiety, not knowing really what to do. But if let's say the opposite is true, you are a level 100 warrior, but you're fighting a level 1 chicken, would that give you any excitement, any challenge? No, you'll probably feel very bored and mundane. That's why we need to find a perfect balance of the challenge skills base. And an ideal is to always lean beyond your comfort zone, lean beyond your age. 4%. You need to engage in tasks that are 4% more difficult than your current skill levels. And you can measure it through different metrics. So now we are going to be talking about the flow cycle. So how you get into that flow state, that peak performance. Peak performance is defined as the peak human experience of life. It's the most happiest, and that's why we should want to go into it more. So the first phase of the cycle is the struggle. It's like, when you're going to surf, but then after that you need to swim to the shore, or the wave pushing against you, you're just swimming to that far end into the ocean. It takes a lot of resistance. It's like when you sit down to do work, you just feel that resistance. Like, even when I'm trying to record this video, I was thinking to myself, what should I say? Do I really want to do it? I could have done something else. But then you need to keep pushing through. This struggle phase lasts roughly around 23 minutes. So you need to get through this phase. And once you get through this phase, you then go to the next phase, which is the release phase. Releasing phase is just the transition from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind. That's when your natural instinct takes over. Everything just comes naturally to you. words, thoughts, actions. It's all instinctively. That is when you know you're reaching your peak state. So this is like, a surfer. After he swim out into the ocean, he have to wait. And then he's waiting. This is the waiting stage for the wave, the big wave to come so that he can surf on. Then we reach the most important, which is the flow state itself. Flow state, you ride the wave of flow as long as possible. You engage, you just work, and everything just comes naturally. Hours will feel like seconds. Your mind is just fully immersed in the action. You don't think of anything, no thoughts, only the action that you're doing. And in seconds, you will finish every single task on your list. And then you get a bit tired, your mind starts having thoughts arising, and that you feel a bit like lethargic. That is when the flow cycle stops and you move on to the next one, which is the recovery stage. So recovery is just to rest, because your body already used its limits, to go through the flow state, to do all the productive work. Now it's time to relax, to rest and recharge. But most people get this phase wrong. It's one of the most crucial phase, because if you have this phase, then you'll be able to even start the flow cycle. If your mind is always drained, you can never reach a flow state. To recharge your mind, you have to engage in active recovery rather than passive. So I have a video down there that you can watch in my channel. But the main gist is that you need activities that truly relax your mind. Think about video games, watching Netflix. Is your mind really like resting, or is it engaging in more senses? Probably not. Your mind is getting even more drained playing video games because it's so stimulating. And that's why you need to really ask yourself, is this active recovery? And after recovery, the whole cycle repeats again. This is the flow cycle. Once you are able to master the flow cycle, you will achieve peak performance in your life. Always remember that you are the hero of your story. Create the story of your life.